deceptive. You'd have a look in this and you'd think, oh, there's not much in there, is there? But wait till you see what happens right at the end of this procedure anyway. And I knew it was going to, because I'd seen this chap before. It actually featured in a previous video. It wasn't that long ago, I want to say it was about 6 months ago. I think it was called Earwax from Prison. Long story why. It wasn't him or me. But I will put a link to that video. It only works on YouTube, this. I'll put a link to that video on the cards at the end of this one, so you can have a look and compare it, because it's really similar. And this is the reason why the endoscope is so useful for a lot of stuff like this, because even at this point, to the untrained eye, you could look in this any other way and you'd think, well, I can kind of see the eardrum in the distance there. Doesn't look like much hovering around the edges, so let's leave it there. But he still couldn't hear, and you will see why. Because what happens is he gets this really thin layer of skin, and it just doesn't shed properly. It doesn't. It kind of gets trapped in the recess, and it builds up quite a lot. So, and you'll see whenever you look downwards in this, it was a little bit squeaky as well, but it was tolerating it fine. It wasn't distressing too much. But you'll see just when you'll probably already see just in the distance that there is kind of a layer of skin just on the eardrum. But what's happened is it's kind of it's been shed in the recess and kind of around the bend there. Then there's a lot more of it that you can see that's got trapped around there, and it's covering the whole eardrum as well. So like I said, you can't ordinarily see with any other method of visualization, word of the day, other than with the endoscope. So it would be as clear and as obvious anyway. And I'm thinking more like the microscopes over the eyes, the headrooms. Probably wouldn't be that clear without you just seeing right here. Okay. But it's not. Just have a look what happens when I peel this all the way down. The second ear in this video, I decided to film some more irrigation. Good one too as well. So that's at the end of this one, so stay tuned. After that, if I sound a little bit croaky, then it's just because I've had a weekend away. We've had our annual rugby tour with the boys to a holiday park for the rugby team I coach. We had a tournament down there. I will share some more images and videos of that in a later video when I've got time, but it's my first day back after 4 or 5 days off. So I've just got time to catch up on everything first. It's been very busy in clinic. Bit of a tan as well. You might notice, I don't know if the lights bring that out, but it was gorgeous sunshine when we went, and it was baking out. Anyway, have a look at what happens here. You can see just as I lift that up, all this oil kind of appears from nowhere, and it's kind of been, as he's been putting it in, it's been kind of sitting down there. And as we lift it up, just have a look what happens deeper down. It lifts it off the eardrum, but not only that, it comes from really deep down, just on the left hand side at the bottom there. Look at that. Thinking, where's all that been hiding? And it wasn't until that particular bit was removed that his hearing was improved massively as well. And there it is. What a difference. A few little flakes here and there, they're not significant. But what a difference. Like I said, you wouldn't ordinarily know to do that. It helped that I'd seen it before and I knew what was going to happen and what was down there. This one, reason why I irrigated this. Now, this is really easy to find a tube. And when I initially started touching it there with a finding tube, not much was coming up the tube. Ideally what you want is it peels away and it gathers up and it jumps into the tube and it all comes away in one go. That wasn't happening here because it was so mushy and so wet. She'd absolutely drowned it in oil before she came in an attempt to remove it, which really works. And it made it really wet and soggy. So the only bits that really hard to get a grip on when it's that wet. So then the only bits that disappear are like the little bits that you touch. And so removing that off the eardrum, it's wafer thin blister. So it's very close to the eardrum. It comes with quite a lot of risk. That's often not worth it when there's another perfectly safe and tested method of doing it. And that's why I'm going to use irrigation in a bit. But I thought, I've tried to peel it from the sides, can't get a grip. So I'll just try and dab it in the middle. See if it all just gathers up together and jumps up. But again, that didn't happen. There you go. So the only bit that comes away is the bit that you've actually touched. So it would mean literally down in every little bit of the eardrum, which in my eyes is risky that it needs to be when what you can do is that's the tip of the irrigating machine that we're using will just pulse a very gentle warm jet into the ear and just watch how quickly it works. And like I said, a lot safer in my opinion than sticking a steel rod down there for quite a long time trying to get loads of specks off the eardrum. Have a look how quickly it comes up. It's already lifted it off the eardrum. Just a couple more squirts, 10-20 seconds, and it's literally out here. It is. Now this here afterwards, the eardrum, sorry, does look a little bit soggy. Now that will be in part down to what we've just done